Geckos can go through a massive color change from the time they are babies to the time they are adults. Now, when I was starting off, I couldn't believe how ugly babies would turn out to look spectacular by the time they were 20-30 grams. So in this video, I'm going to show you what a baby hatches out like and what it turns into over the course of 1 year. Stick around, this is going to be interesting. Now every line is different and every gecko grows at different rates. So if you have a gecko, it's a year old and you're reading on the internet that it should be 35-45 grams, do not worry, every gecko grows at a different rate. That is something to keep in mind when you're watching this video, because I will also let you know how much each individual gecko weighs at the end of the video so you can get an idea of the different growth rates. Some didn't grow that fast at all and some grew a lot more than others. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video, because the progression of the color and the pattern kind of depends on the size of the gecko as well. If it takes longer to mature, it's going to take longer to show the complete pattern and color. Now, just so you know, we are going to be using this light box to show you the different geckos in a white background, makes it look nice and clean, and that way you could focus on all the color and patterns from these geckos. Now, this is a great option if you're looking to sell geckos and you want to take pictures. You got to get yourself a light box. It's the best way to photograph and get like even lighting throughout. So this one I got on Amazon. I'll put the link below of where I got it, and make sure that if you do want to get a light box, click the link below and get yourself one. First up is a red Harlequin pinstripe lily white. Now, red crested geckos usually start off with that brownish base color, but by the time they are 6 months, you can start to see the color come in more and the lily white markings start to spread and create a masterpiece of a gecko. Next up is this yellow quad stripe lily white. The yellow starts off kind of brownish, similar to other crested geckos, but by the time it is 6 months old, you could really see the yellow start to pop in and the white dripping from the dorsal and the harlequin markings. This third gecko is a tricolor harlequin. Tricolors are tricky because they start off not looking like much. Some will just have white spots, and those white spots start to spread and create a thicker cream. By the time it is an adult, it has lost some of its orange coloration, but the cream is taking over. Next up is a tangerine harlequin. The tangerine actually enhances the orange pattern on these geckos and makes the orange last longer versus some of the other orange pattern geckos where the orange turns more into a yellow. Moving on to the gargoyle geckos, this particular gargoyle is actually from my Phantom Eye group, and it is also a red stripe, but that is not the whole purpose of the group. However, you could see the progression of the red on this gecko, how it goes from looking brown to having some red and orange coloration. Next up is this Pennywise offspring, a red super striped gargoyle gecko. When they hatch, they're brown. By the time they're 2 months old, they start getting some of that orange. But by the time they're 6 months old to an adulthood, you will start to see that deeper red set in. This is another red striped gargoyle gecko. If you guys want to hear a more descriptive and informative voiceover of mine with each individual stage, and even some video footage of each stage, then make sure you join our membership program here on YouTube. You could do so by subscribing and then clicking the join button next to the subscribe button on our channel. Now, this gargoyle gecko went through a crazy change where it hatched almost looking like a metallic axanthic type gecko. By the time it was 6 months old, it started to show more of a regular reticulated pattern, but by the time it was a year old, it started developing some pinks. Very interesting gargoyle gecko change. Now, the last gargoyle gecko we are looking at is actually a Deadpool Jr. offspring, and when it is a baby, it's not showing much. As it starts to get older, you could see that orange turn into a red, and by the time it is a year old, you will see that it is actually a red striped red based gargoyle gecko. Alright guys, that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed a video like this, make sure you subscribe, follow along, hit the bell notification for more videos like this, and let me know which one of all these geckos that I showed today was your favorite. Personally, mine was the Pennywise offspring, and all these geckos that you saw today are actually up on the website for sale. Some of them are already sold out, so if you got one of those, congrats, you got a famous gecko. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.